Welcome to Wednesday's Words of Wisdom from the farm. And I always said a farm needs a good ATV. And you know, back in the day, I'll never forget when I was in school, we got a three-wheeler. Those were those red three-wheelers with three great big balloon tires. I'll never forget my dad taking off down the road and he said, "Hey boy, we got fence to do. You better make sure you're back there with a three-wheeler by the time I'm back there." And I said, "Dad, I'll be back there." Well, I ran into the shed to get the three-wheeler. It was out of fuel and it had a flat tire. So I quickly pumped up the tire, I fueled it up, and I looked and Dad was way down the road and I'm like, I can't go back in the shed for my helmet. I'm just going to take off. And I flew. Bad decision. I flew full throttle down this road. I came to this stop sign. I looked at the cornfield as I was flying, and without stopping or anything, I ran the stop sign. I should have looked back one more time up the side road and seen that there was a Volkswagen flying the other way, and I hit it going over 80 kilometers. I still remember the driver's face, this panicked look, and I'm sure I had a panicked look in return. And then my handlebar and arm went through his rear passenger window, just missed his window. And as the handlebar and my arm went through, the three-wheeler flew and it launched me. And I flew over doing a couple somersaults in the air, and I was like really scared. And then all of a sudden I felt this peace, like I stopped flipping and I just felt like I was floating. And then I hit the ground, and when I hit the ground, I looked up, and the three-wheeler was the height of the hydro wires flipping in the air. And then it came down and it hit the road and it flipped. It looked like the three-wheeler bouncing off those balloon tires was chasing that Volkswagen down the road. Well, I went to get up, and immediately another vehicle had pulled over and they held me by the chest and said, "Young man, you've been in an accident." And I was like, let me up, let me up. I got to get back there and help my dad. I was in a little bit of panic. I was in a little bit of shock. And then the other guy came back and they said, "Hold on, we called an ambulance." As they were loading me into the ambulance, my dad showed up on the scene. Someone had gone to the pasture farm and got him. And Dad came up and he said, "Hey, boy, don't you ever run stop signs. I told you never to run stop signs." I should have faked a heart attack or stopped breathing for a second just to get him concerned, but I didn't. Well, they took me to the hospital and they actually x-rayed, and I had a fractured arm, and they put me in a cast. And my dad said, "Hey, boy, you know, it's Friday tomorrow. Why don't you stay home? You've had enough excitement. Why don't you stay home on Friday, and then it's going to be the weekend?" Friday morning, Dad got up at the crack of dawn, woke me up, said, "Boy, we have work to do." There was a huge pile of stone, and he had a cement mixer. And all day long, I had to shovel stone into that cement mixer and level up cement with this fractured arm. And it was just throbbing. My dad did not believe in any excuses. It just didn't, the word excuse just was not in his vocabulary. I remember another time I was on crutches for over 7 weeks, and Dad said, "Nope, you were playing basketball. So guess what? You're going to go up in the mow and go into the pens, bed the pens, do all the work." I had to wrap the crutches in plastic so they didn't get all covered in manure. I did all the chores without missing a beat. I know that sounds extreme, but excuses, my dad could not stand them. And still to this day, I hate when I hear any excuse. "I can't do this because of that. I can't do this because of," I can't stand it. We can do all things. You can get the job done. Come on, guys, you can get it done. I want to read for you a story. Jesus is telling a parable, and in this parable, there's a certain man, and he sends out his servants to go out and to get people for this banquet. And as he goes out, as the servant goes out, one by one, everyone has excuses. At the time of the banquet, he sent out his servant to tell those who had been invited, "Come, for everything is ready now." But they all alike began to make excuses. This is Luke 14, verse 18. They all began to make excuses. The first said, I have just bought a field, and I must go to see to it. Please excuse me. Another said, I have just bought 5 yoke of oxen. I bought some cows. I am on my way to try them out. I'm going to put the plow on them, try them out. Please excuse me. Still another said, I've just got married. You'd think that's a pretty good excuse. I've just got married. I can't come to your banquet. I've got a wife to attend to. Still another said, I've just got married, so I can't come. The servant came back and reported to his master. Then the owner of the house became angry, and he ordered the servant to go out and get whoever. These who have been invited, go out and get whoever. Think about that for a minute. Jesus did not like excuses. And let's be honest, we have a heavenly Father that has called us to do all different things to make an impact, to make a difference in this world. And so many times we make excuses. I'm not old enough, or I'm too old. I'm not physically able to do that. You know what? Someone else will do it better. Listen to me. If God's called you to do it, you do it. He wants you to do it. That's your thing. And listen, don't make excuses. No one likes them, and especially not your Heavenly Father that knows you're capable of doing it. And that's been Wednesday's Words of Wisdom from the farm. Take care. God bless.